family dealership.
Yeah,
It was
right, yeah.
Bay Chevrolet had a following of enthusiasts in the Queens and Nassau County area.
Oh, yeah. It was a big operation. We had big wholesale to shops and whatever. And plus, we had some hot rodders and stuff that come in.
Yeah.
That was they said, okay, kid, you can take care of these crazies. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, people, once Joel started working with them, and we started doing all the cars and stories, people out in the Midwest and the West Coast thought that Baldwin Chevrolet was the size of Rhode Island.
Yeah, right.
They thought it was like bays and bays of service.
Yeah.
Okay. It was tiny, and there were, the parts department, the high-performance parts, was in the showroom. Mm-hmm. You walked in the door, and there was a little desk, and there was some parts on the wall, and that was it.
That was
it. But, if it wasn't for Joel, that dealership would have continued selling six-cylinder cars and pickup trucks.
Sure.
For the rest of their life.
It was a moment in time that was capitalized on for whatever reason, however, if it was engineered or not, and it made gold. It made history because people all over the place, knows about it. One of the cars we were going to bring today that we didn't because of the weather is a Motion Monte Carlo.
Yeah,
that my buddy Mike owns. I was working on it yesterday, getting it ready to come here, but it's got 35-year-old tires on it, so we didn't want to chance it in the rain. And it's it's a 350 with a supercharger.
Right.
And one thing I noticed, I did an oil change on it yesterday, Joe, and said, okay, the header's great, get the filter out, and the PF24 that was in the trunk doesn't fit because the gasket is different. I'm like, that fits.
It's got the adapter.
No, I had to get a different. I had to get the perimeter type gasket. But one of the things I want to talk about in the show in the future shows is when you work on a car that you didn't build. And you don't know who built. You don't know what's there. You don't know what they did or why they did it, and you have to try and backwards engineer it. And I'm thinking to myself, does this go back? Some of these things go back to when the car was done at Motion, or could it have been preserved? Or?
Well, I mean, Motion does have. I mean, Joel Rosen does have invoices and stuff in storage.
Yeah.
He does searches for people. In the case of the Monte Carlo, it wouldn't be worth to pay him to do the search.
Right.
But it's funny because he really liked those Monte Carlos.
Did he?
He really did.
Yeah.
And his daughter still has his car.
Wow. Okay.
It's still on Long Island somewhere.
Is it?
Yeah.
This one was in. This one was on Long Island, and of
I
course,
think his car was a white car with all lettered up, big block lettering on it. Joel's car.
Right.
But his daughter, I believe, has it.
Okay.
Out in Suffolk County, I think.
I'll show you a shot. Here's an engine shot I just took yesterday. Of the with the B&M supercharger and the Holly 3310. And the funny thing is, I'm under the car and I noticed it's got a metric transmission in it and a 10-bolt rear end. I was like, wow, that's kind of. I would expect something a little stouter, But maybe it was the way that the original customer ordered the car. I don't know.
Probably the customer didn't want to pay for a 12-bolt.
Right.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
He really liked those cars. He had some that were lettered up with gigantic block letters, Motion on them in red on white cars. They were really coyote ugly. I mean, they were ugly cars. He thought they were absolutely beautiful. Joel and I didn't agree on a lot of stuff when it came to paint jobs and colors.
Yeah.
The older he got, the more he kept on building cars that were just outrageously lettered up and just kind of ugly.
And interesting enough, because it's always been said that Joel presented the steak and you made it sizzle. You're the PR guy. You are the marketing guy.
Yes,
right. Which is
I didn't have much control over it because he most of the cars were built for customers.
Right.
So the customer got what the customer wanted.
Right. You lay down the money, you get what you want.
The demo cars were Joel's. He would do those. And those were back in the Gen 1, Gen 2 Camaro days. They were conservative cars. Right. They were just nice cars.
Sure.
And the Corvettes he had were also very nice, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, our listeners are getting what they're paying for today, Joe, because we are Motormouth Radio at the Malba Show in Whitestone, right here with Mr. Joel. Not with Mr. Joel. We're not here with Joel Rosen. Jeez, Joel's in Florida.
The seance is upstairs.
I'm here surprise.
Yeah.
With Mr. Marty
Schorr. Yes.
On 90.3 WHPC, we're bringing you the best in radio broadcasting for your car show Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what is it
it's
is.
It's a combination car show and car wash.
Right, bring a little soap and you got it made, right?
Yeah. We got some hard.
You should have said free car wash. Free car wash.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, and we are. I was just reminded.
We're on for an extra hour today.
Yeah, we are doing a 2-hour thing. We're taking an hour from Kim, so that's nice of her to.
Yeah, Kim gave it. Kim stepped aside for us there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you guys strap in because we're gonna be hitting you for double shot this week.
And we are going to have. You can call us. Don't forget 516-572-7440. You can talk to Mr. Marty Schorr. You can ask him a question. And because people call us during the year and say, "Hey, you know that guy? Can you ask about
that motion, the Corvette guy there. You know him, right? Yeah, he's that guy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we walk around before and people say, "Hey, you're that guy, right?"
That guy.
So sunny Florida, but your roots. What's it like when you come back to good old New York? Does it give you like warm and fuzzy, or does it give you that oh crap moment? Like
no, it's warm and fuzzy. I'm a New Yorker, and basically. Born in the Bronx and
right over there,
right, and spent much of my life in Manhattan and the Bronx, and to me, moving to Florida in 2000, the deal with my wife was that we have to be able to come back to New York,
right?
As often as possible, and so we try to make it up,
a couple times
8, 10 times a year.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. Yeah,
to do it, and to me, unlike Floridians when they come to New York, the noise, the traffic, the crowded restaurants, it doesn't bother me. It's
normal, right?
It's normal.
Yeah.
And
also the good coffee, the pizza, the bagel, the faster service. That doesn't bother you either, right?
Right. Everybody moves in like at least out of the first year. Yep.
When I moved to Florida in 2000, because I moved to the West Coast, which it's not the direct path from New York for retirees.
Right,
all the New Yorkers go on 95 and they come down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale,
Boca
East
Raton,
Coast.
yeah.
The Midwesterners come down on 75 and go to the West Coast.
Right.
But the East Coast was too crowded and too noisy for me. So we settled in Sarasota. But there were at the time, no good bagels. There was no such thing as good
What's
pizza.
A bagel?
Pizza was... Their interpretation of
Domino's.
pizza was like Domino's, and
yes,
and so
I was there back when. Yeah, my understanding.
We struggled, for a number of years. But what happened is, it caught up rather quickly. You can get good bagels in Sarasota, and now we have places that make either New York style, what you're used to from Brooklyn or from Long Island or from the Bronx, pizza. And a number of places are making thin crust, real Italian pizza.
Nice.
No kidding.
And the food is getting to be much more real Italian.
Okay.
And so...
probably some more real Italians there.
Can you get a knish?
Only in a couple of places.
Yeah. There's always something.
That's more of an East Florida thing, right?
Yeah.
I come up here, and the first thing I do is, after I land, is I walk over to Zabar's on Broadway, and I stock up on knishes and
good Potemkin mustard.
And all that kind of, right.
Yeah.
And so I have food in the house, But, and I've been doing this now for 18 years.
Right.
And it becomes part of my life. New York is I'm a New Yorker. When people ask me where I'm from,
it gets into your blood.
I'm from New York.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
Went to school here, grew up here, and
and I have to say, another New Yorker that actually that's how we got to meet you was our good friend, our departed friend Joe Oldham.
Yes.
Oh.
When Joe wrote his book, Confessions of a Muscle Car Test Driver, I was trying to get a copy of it, and somehow I got your contact information. The book, the publisher sent me yours.
Right.
So I contacted you, and your book was coming out too at the time, the Motion book.
Right.
And you told me, listen, get Joe on first, put Joe on, and he goes, and then you said, well, when I'm done, you come back and talk to me. And I told my co-host at the time, I said, I think we just got the brush off. I said, I really think he just told me politely, see you, kid.
Go talk to this guy, yeah.
Guy. But we did. We got in touch with Joe, had him on, and what a sweetheart. I mean, we love Joe. How do you not love Joe Oldham?
Oh, he was great.
And then, of course, followed up with you with the Motion book, which I don't think I have that one with me. No, I have day one. But, just such fantastic stuff. And I'm sure that just had to be, I don't, to read that book, I couldn't stop. It was like, like a 2-day read and you're done with it. And I was like, where's volume 2? Where's volume 3? You want to keep going.
Right.
Was it as easy to write?
Well, to be honest with you, what happened with the book was that when I wrote the book before it, for Total Performance, which I know you have.
Yeah.
I had not pitched that book to the publisher. I had pitched the book day one to the publisher.
Okay.
Publisher told me that nobody's going to want to do a book about you and your experiences. You're not that important.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. He said,
Who is this guy?
He said, is there any other book? We'd like to get another book from you. Is there any other book you can do? I said, well, when I was researching me and it's all the stuff that I did and involved in, I researched all the brands of all the cars we were involved in back in the day, Chevrolet as well as Ford and something else. And I said I have an awful lot of Ford stuff because I was very close to a lot of the people at Ford that were racing. Mm-hmm. And just happened that the people at GM weren't as nice as the people at Ford.
Okay.
If you were a small circulation guy like me, if you're a hot rod,
right?
Yeah, they bent
not a
over
problem.
for you. Yeah.
So I said, "How about a book on Ford?" Oh, love it, do it. So I did it. Then I went to see the publisher at a show, and I said, "I see you're coming out with muscle car books about people's experiences. Why did you turn my book down?" He says, "Well, pitch it again." So I pitched it again. He says, "What a great idea. Why don't you do it?" So I said, "Okay."
He didn't have his brand of coffee that morning.
So I did it. Right. And essentially, that book became easy to do because I had done all this research before.
Yeah.
But the interesting part of it that many people may tell you who have written books, and Oldham would have told you this, possibly, stuff that happened in the 60s and 70s, we didn't do as much research back then as we do now.
Okay.
And over those years, people have come along and have done an incredible amount of research. That's why you have Ford cars are documented by the Marty report, M-A-R-T-I.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And there's a guy who does Galen
Govia, right? Does the Mopar,
he does Mopar books, Mopar cars.
Yeah, yeah.
And basically, they've learned all kinds of things that we didn't know back in the day.
Right.
So there was a lot of new information, and basically,
it's that time machine.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the little features in day one, which, by the way, is probably my best work, is it's stuff on a '69 ZL1 Camaro. Not the '69 cars they built for drag racing.
Right.
But I wasn't aware that they were going to build street cars with that same engine. Now, anyone who has driven one knows you can't drive them on the street.
No.
They're terrible.
Thing's an animal.
It has a big old plenum manifold, no divider.
Right.
You can't run them at low speeds.
Just like we learned from Joe, the Hemis.
Right. They would run.
Crap on the street, yeah.
So I start looking back at my files for 1969. And I see pictures that I took at the proving grounds in Michigan, Warren, Michigan, in Milford, Michigan. And essentially I come up with some pictures of a strange-looking Camaro being driven around the skid pad. And I look for more pictures, and I get a magnifying glass, and I check the emblem on the car, and it says ZL1. And it's a street car.
Wow.
So I go back and I start doing research. And a friend of mine is a retired GM engineer who worked at Tonawanda and shipped those motors, the ZL1 motors.
Yeah. Wow.
And he said, yeah, we shipped a couple of motors to Chevrolet because they were going to do a street car. Well, he supplied me with the letter applying for production of a street car. They put a divider in the plenum manifold.
Make it drivable, right?
And they changed the timing on the motor, and they were able to get it to run on the street with an automatic transmission or a stick.
Excellent. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, how we're going to make it run on the street. We're going to take a bit of a break.
Yeah.
We're going to
reset.
We'll reset a little bit, right? And I think we should say, because I don't know, Kim, WHPC HD, Garden City, New York, 90.3, WHPC. We'll be back in a minute.
The voice of Nassau Community.
All right.
This program is brought to you by Nassau Community College. Attention nursing school candidates. Does your nursing program require a TEAS exam for admission? Take your exam at Nassau Community College. We're open to all candidates. New exam